There's something weird going on in Star Citizen right now. From what I can see, for about the last month or so, players have been running into a few weird issues throughout the game, losing items off their body and out of their inventory, mass death instances across entire cities, and random deaths in proximity to players. Is it cheating or some back-end problem? In this video, I'm going to show you what exactly has been going on, how it has been escalating over the last several months, and what you can do to help stop it. Because I think CIG might be seeing the resurgence of a cheating tool that's been known to the community for years now, actually. And just to be clear, there are also stability problems going on we'll talk about as well. Now, I have no expertise in this field, and I'm not going to try to explain to you what's actually happening here. But this is pretty important for players to know, I think, so I figured I'd show you. Thank you for coming to my Tomato Talk. Now, the first example of what's happening in the PU that I'd like to look at here is presented by J-Gun on YouTube in the last few days. In his video, he shows us his own unique armor being stripped off in real time and not stored in any local inventory, even after waiting around and locking out. While this could be an inventory glitch, he admits, he does believe this could be something more nefarious being done by players. And he's not alone. Search on Google, Reddit, or one of those new AI things, and you'll see plenty of reports and videos of this happening. What makes J-Gun's situation interesting, though, is that this post is referring to a stream from about a month ago. So this isn't necessarily a new occurrence, but it is something that's starting to pop up more in the community. Unfortunately, his support ticket went unanswered for most of that time, and then was finally met with a, okay, sorry, we can't really do anything for in-game items. Now, I'm of the mindset that if there is cheating and hacking problems proliferating in a game, the company handling them should not make it obvious to the public that they are. In this situation, this might be what's happening. There's no doubt that security is always a concern to a company, and that cheats and hacks are always trying to be used, and the company has to counteract them. This is happening in tech fields of all sorts. But it does help to acknowledge that something is going on and it's being looked into, which CIG has done over the last several days. While this has been going on for some time, it's only just gaining visibility now. So this whole situation is currently developing, and by the time this video is released, things may have changed yet again. To keep more up to date on this, I would go check out Space Tomato 2. But here we have another example of a player actually losing their items in a more obvious manner, posted by YouTuber GTD, which will be linked down below. This video shows a player losing their gear as well, but this time there is another player standing suspiciously close to them and following the player losing their gear. Earlier on in the same video, this player can also be seen following GTD before they are eventually transported to a new location with a bunch of players as well as that suspicious player. Back to the clip at hand though, we can see that GTD then follows this mysterious player who seems to walk extremely fast, and not in kind of a desync way, but in more of just a speed walking way, before GTD ultimately dies when getting close. You'll want to remember that fast walking, because I have a reference right here we're going to get to later that could possibly show a first-person perspective of this, including the walking speed increase. Now, according to GTD, he was calling the user out in chat multiple times and getting killed repeatedly for doing it. So this instance may have actually been targeted, as I haven't seen other instances of single players being killed like this. In terms of examples, it also appears that streamer Captain Burks lost his armor in the middle of an engagement, though I think this instance is a little more debatable than the others in what could have happened. In the midst of all this, you can actually find some videos from the alternative perspective. These videos are coming from different accounts, but this one in particular shows straightforward manipulation of the game affecting other players. You can see a faster walk speed listed up top, and there are other things going on in the background. I'm not really interested in showing this perspective to you guys or sharing these names, but the videos do exist out there. I'm just not trying to make it super clear. But these videos act as advertisements from the alleged hackers who make these tools to those who actually use them. What I've found though is that the main purpose hasn't been to be sold, at least not according to the original creators. It was actually just meant to get around the bugs or the grind that Star Citizen had, because I guess they were focused too much on unfinished ships. This new group though, who does seem to be starting the uptick right now, does seem to be celebrating the damage that this could do to the game, with motives more aligned with profit and maybe malintent, as opposed to just wanting to get ahead. And they do seem to host a consumer-grade site that's meant to sell cheats for various games. This comment, though, is truly a view into what this game can do mentally to people. No longer playing the game, but sporting a picture of a main character and saying you'll pay for cheats you're never going to actually use just so the company fails. Yikes. But the original creator I know of, who has been working on this for years, their YouTube channel does feature tools for other games, including Star Citizen posts highlighting specific glitches from more than 2 years ago, seemingly targeting easy anti-cheat. This person, we'll call them Barnabas, is likely the original source of all of this and likely shared some crucial information earlier in the year that allowed a lot of other people to take advantage of what they already had worked on. But there have been proven cheats and hacks in the game before. My friend Avenger1 has released 2 videos diving pretty deep into the tool that led to all of this, as that tool was created by Barnabas. There has been another post to Spectrum as well, Star Citizen's forums, that explains a lot of the technicalities of what is going on in full. You'll probably get more detail from that than this video, and also what CIG could do about it. This post leads back to that group I mentioned was reviewing their own tool, celebrating the downfall of CIG, and looking to make a profit. We'll call this group Blapulous. I don't know. I imagine this is just one instance of this passed on knowledge leading to a wider proliferation of cheating tools in game, and what can be publicly seen by the people who are kinda making a lot of noise with this and attracting a lot of attention is likely only part of the story. This was something that Avenger1 had mentioned he thought might happen during his own coverage. This group is likely using the current easy access free fly period to advertise this tool and gain some visibility, as you can see. I have also tracked a couple of groups across forums discussing these different cheats. Here a user is explaining their ability to carry more in their bags in-game, explaining the types of data that items are stored as, and the fact that while they were rather quiet and not necessarily that in-depth with these tools back in February, things could pick up if more people, and certain names, became more aware. Seemingly, this may have happened. And this does look like a clear connection to the program Cheat Engine, which is known by many going back. It's really not that crazy for online games to be exploited, and a lot of real money exists in the Star Citizen world. This is not an allegation though, I'm just thinking out loud. To be honest, this is probably good for the game and its inner security and the workings of the company to be testing how they respond to something like this and how the game can patch some of these holes during the alpha phase. Though by doing that, it does appear CIG could just be further informing the hackers of how to get around their security team, and thus regular ban intervals may be better for these kinds of situations, at least right now. I hope it gives CIG some good data and experience, but it is scaring a lot of players away from playing during an important promotional period, and it creates a lot of confusion and noise. I know this video might be seen as part of that, but I do hope it can be a bit of informing, but not blowing the horn that everything is falling apart. I do want to be clear here though, cheats are simply wrong, and I'm not trying to undersell just how many people this could affect. If you find something, report it. That's ultimately the best thing we can do here. Otherwise, using exploits and cheats to get ahead and better yourself, especially in an unfinished game, is pretty lame. I haven't had much time in-game to experience how common this is, but I have been playing regularly for the last month, which we know has been part of the times this could have occurred. And I also just went on and stood at the starport for 6 hours while I wrote this script and had nothing happen to me. And I was out there for a while. I actually saw a lot of players going about their everyday lives, wearing their armor, getting in ships, and sprinting around like they need to go to the bathroom. While seeing videos online can make it feel like everybody is being affected by whatever is going on, I do see a ton of players still going about their day. While it may be best to stay away from some central locations, which does seem to be where these things are occurring, at most right now I would more likely just suggest not carrying things you absolutely don't want to lose. And if you're really not about it, well, I mean, just, try out some other games. There's plenty to play right now. Because while losing your gear may suck and be a temporary setback, there is something else that's also happening to players. Mass casualty events. Mass deaths in Star Citizen aren't really something that players would be too weirded out by. This actually happened to me on my org just a month or 2 ago. The game is pretty unstable, it has its problems, and you can just kind of expect weird things to happen sometimes. While I do think what happened to me in my org could definitely have been related to the cave at Hathor and the nature of how it works, many of us did wonder at the time if a player somehow had something to do with what happened that was not necessarily related to detonating the mineable rocks. Either way, my point is, all players in an area dying from an unseen reason can definitely be due to Star Citizen being the way it is, though I do not believe that's what we are seeing be reported on here. Across Reddit and in our own Discord server, I've seen multiple reports of entire locations being cleared out of players, which does correlate with the videos I've been reporting on today. That being said, I have not encountered anything in game since that one time weeks ago, so again, while I think these things are possible and probably happening at all times that we're playing, and we might be seeing an uptick in these sorts of incidents right now, I don't necessarily think it's enough reason to step away. But your mileage may vary. Last time this started happening and gaining more visibility, I don't really know what happened, but it did quiet down for quite a bit. The previous version of any tools that I know were used for exploiting Star Citizen did not work for 3.18. That much is proven true by one of the authors of one of the tools. But who knows now? As a player, you're going to be able to go to less populated areas to still play the game, I think. But with the possible chance that other players could teleport you to a specific place in the game, I'm not sure what the best plan is here other than don't wear your valuables, play some Arena Commander, or go outside. And check out other games. There are some pretty good other games out right now. The irony is not lost on me that I'm telling people to possibly play other things a week after I told folks they should try out Star Citizen for the free fly. Unfortunately, with the nature of Star Citizen, things can change within a few days, so that's on me. And while you can see there are plenty of folks that are taking a break from the game right now, which honestly, not a bad idea. Everybody could use a break every once in a while. You'll also see plenty of people still in the game, playing and having fun as usual. Just make sure, if you are playing, to turn on your session tracker QR code and be ready to record your screen if you need to. Whether you are encountering a glitch or a cheat, the video record and an issue council post on the website will help more than anything else with CIG figuring out what they can do for the situation at hand. We've even seen one alleged glitch which was possibly causing some of these problems quickly marked, fixed, and closed on the website, though it was shortly after reopened and marked as confirmed. It's clear that some occurrences of more heinous behaviors are happening, and it can always happen to you, but just like with natural disasters, remember what you're seeing isn't always all that's happening. And so here's my overall breakdown of what's happened here. Outside of Star Citizen just, being Star Citizen, it appears a major player shared key information publicly earlier in the year. Other individuals have picked up on this information and developed further. And over the last few months, occurrences like these have been getting more and more frequent, with this free fly event acting as the perfect opportunity to get the word out. While we're also seeing some false positives from Star Citizen's natural jankiness, which is a problem on its own, I do have to wonder if CIG has been doing anything to combat this in the meantime, considering these conversations were taking place 2 years ago. It's always been a quiet but accepted truth that Star Citizen has exploits and cheats in its alpha stage, but now it's more widely known. Sometimes this recklessness is actually bad for the cheat makers though. Like a virus, you kind of want to keep your subject thriving but unaware. And for all I know, that could be reaching out to people who put a spotlight on this stuff. We'll just have to see. And we will see if CIG puts more new attention on this or if anything changes when the free fly ends next week. I'll update you guys on this story as it develops, likely over on Space Tomato 2 where I can post more regularly. So if you want to keep up, head on over there. I hope you got something out of this, learned something new, and I hope you have a nice day. I'll catch you in the next one.